All right, so good evening, everybody. My name is Kristen, and tonight we are gathering again for bedtime yoga. So tonight's practice is going to be very, very still. So still that you can do this in bed if you choose. We are going to use some props, but being in your bed is a pretty great place for this one. Highly, highly recommend. So make sure that you have at least 3 blankets with you. So if you are choosing to practice on the floor, your first blanket is going to go right over your mat. You want a nice cushy ground. You want to feel very supported, very nurtured here. Your other 2 blankets we're going to use throughout the practice, so just have them handy. If you don't have blankets, you can use towels. Just be creative, something big, something you can fold and mold around. All right, so to start, I would like you to take a seat, take one of those blankets, find a shape that works, and just give your hips a little bit of height. Just finding a comfortable spot and resting your hands down. So we're taking the energy of the day, we're turning it inward, and we're starting to go deep within ourselves. And in this moment, just taking a few breaths, letting your body come to the space of the practice. Wherever it is that you're joining this practice from, whether you're on the floor, whether you're on your mat, whether you're in your bed, is take this moment to gather a sense of space. At each breath, start to infuse your body with this sense of space, with this sense of calming down, this sense of arrival. Each time you breathe in, very slowly feel your spine lift just a little bit higher. And maintaining that lift, each time you breathe out, feel your shoulders slowly melt down the sides of the neck, down the back. Feel that energy keep moving down into your elbows, out through the forearms and down into your palms, into the tips of your fingers. And we're working with this downward internal energy. So as you maintain the lift and length of the inhale, feel the exhale slowly smoothing out your extremities, smoothing out any little crumbs of more upward energy that's still hanging on to your day. Let the exhale sweep that down, sweep that away. And as you breathe here, just infusing a moment of mindfulness. Mindfulness in the body, mindfulness in your space. What does your space feel like? How are you communicating with this space, wherever that is? Letting yourself slip into this space, both internal and external. Slowly exhale, smoothing out the body, smoothing out the mind. And then keeping your eyes either rested or closed, Slide the blanket that you're sitting on off to the side, somewhere where you're able to reach that. And then we're going to make our way down onto our backs. So we're going to spend the majority of our time here on our back. So find something comfortable. If you need a little bit of lift, put some pillows, some blankets underneath. Make sure that you're very comfortable here. And then bring your knees together, bring your feet as wide as your hips, and just open your arms here. You can bend at the elbows, you can extend out through your fingertips, whatever your chest is calling for, and just feel the support of whatever's beneath you, pressing up against your upper spine, as you allow the inhale to slowly draw this heart center open, drawing space here in the center of your chest. And start to feel your breath going a little bit deeper now, traveling a little further down with a little more intention. And instead of down as we normally think of down, the gravitational down, like down towards your feet, I want you to think of this down instead as going towards your spine against the floor. So finding that internal heart space. As you breathe in, as we go up, you feel your chest rise. Feeling that heart space with air, feeling the whole front of your body open. And as you exhale down, feel the back of the heart space, the back of the lungs, pressing down against the floor, the bed, whatever's supporting you beneath you. And I invite you to start to make your breath very intentional. So finding a rhythm that works for you. Maybe it's a 3 count, maybe it's a 5 count. I won't cue you here because I really want you to find that for yourself, making this yours. So just adding your stamp onto this practice. And as you find that rhythm of equal breaths in, equal breaths out, I encourage you to release through the mouth, sighing the breath out. And as you breathe out, feeling the elements of support that surround you. The physical support of your knees against each other. Maybe you've placed something underneath your spine, underneath your head. You have the support of your choices that are aiding your body as you move through this practice. You have the support of the ground, the bed, whatever you've chosen to practice on this evening. And you have the support of the sound of my voice guiding you through these postures. You keep breathing, you keep finding this rhythm of intention. Letting yourself be immersed in these different points of support that surround you. The next inhale, slowly begin to reach your arms back past your head. You can keep your knees as they are, or you can lengthen your feet down, opening the whole front of your body. Making a few slow, languid circles with your wrists and with your ankles. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest. And bringing your arms up to the ceiling, resting your hands on top of your knees, drawing your knees in. I want you to pay special attention to your neck here. Notice if you're a bit crunched in the shoulders. Notice if there's any tension at the back of the neck. I want you to smooth that out by rolling the shoulders against the ground and slowly bringing your chin towards your throat. So towards your throat, not all the way pressed in, We're just finding a long line from the tailbone all the way up to where the spine meets the skull. And let your feet rest here. No need to flex or point, just let them kind of hang in space. And start to feel pressure in your palms, guiding your knees in towards your chest. And now what I want you to feel is less effort, more that you're simply allowing your knees to descend into gravity. So this may mean that your knees spread slightly apart, opening your hips a little bit more. Maybe you want to keep your knees together, totally up to you. But the way that we're approaching this pose is the same way that we approach a child's pose, just in reverse. Find the length from the spine all the way through the crown. Find the pressure on your palms, mimicking the pressure of your legs against the floor. Very gently starting to open the hips. And as you breathe, let the muscles of your stomach be very, very loose. Whatever comes up as you loosen your stomach, just see if you can again smooth that out with the exhale. If you can't, just let it hang out, let it have its say, and then let it move on. The looser we're able to make our stomach area, the more in touch we can get with our respiratory diaphragm. And it'll help us take deeper and deeper breaths. So again, finding that space, filling that space in the body, feeling it operate as it lifts up with the inhale. And feeling it deflate as you press down with the exhale, pressing down into your support systems that surround you. If you've lost that gentle rhythm of equal counts in, equal counts out, just welcome that back in now. And I'll pause my words here for a moment to give you the opportunity to start going a little bit deeper. And now take 2 more breaths at your own pace. And at the bottom of your second breath, very gently press your knees together. Move your hips from side to side, keeping your legs in the air, keeping your hands on your thighs. And then coming into a version of a reverse tabletop. So you'll bend your knees, lifting your shins parallel to the floor. And now matching this posture with your arms, bringing your elbows to the ceiling, extending your forearms to the floor, and keep your hands pressing towards one another, palms pressing in. Now, if this already feels very active for you, we want to do the opposite. So if bringing the heels, or pardon me, bringing your knees and bringing your elbows right over your shoulder, you feel like you're doing any kind of core work, I want you to release that. Just bring the knees slightly in, the elbows slightly in. So that'll take some of that activation out. Remember, we're working with downward energy tonight. So whenever you feel too activated, always reduce just slightly. So you feel like something's happening. There's a slight activation, but we're not really bringing this into the core. So here in our reverse tabletop, we're going to very slowly, very somatically drift from side to side. But before we do that, just take a few breaths here. Just feel what your body is doing in this pose. Do you feel like there's any extraneous activation happening either in your thoughts, in your jaw, any of those subtle places where you're starting to grip? Just do a quick scan. And again, returning to that breath, returning to this space of support. Let the exhale take you into that space of support. Now on your next inhale, fill the body, fill the belly, feel the belly again. Really soft, very receptive. And on the exhale, just lower your elbow and your knee on your right side. So as if you were a book, we're opening our right elbow, right knee down to the floor. And then slowly let the left follow. So rolling over onto your side. Let the palm rest on palm, knee rest on knee. So now keeping the right side against the floor on your next inhale. Start to lift your left knee, left elbow away from the right. And we're opening slowly like a book. And then follow the momentum of the left as it rolls to the floor, letting the right side come up whenever it wants to. Coming back through center, rolling the left elbow, left knee down to the floor, and then slowly following with the right. Now we're going to keep moving back and forth in space. As you lift your right side, again, let the left follow however it wants to. And I invite you to start to bring the even counts in and out into this motion here. As you expand and open with the inhale, finding that count, and then spending just as much time as you feel the opposite side rolling down. Now you may notice as you're moving from side to side, this may not be a totally smooth transition, and that's totally fine. What we're doing here is letting your body experience the sensation of this gentle rocking, this gentle back and forth. And if you're being felt called to rest for a moment on one side, just honor that. Rest for a moment. And then once you return back into the rhythm, let your body be the guide and not your mind here. Your body and gravity have the steering wheel. Your mind is just a passenger. So again, I'm going to pause my verbal cues for a moment and let yourself go deep. I'll keep track of the time and I'll find you when we're moving on. And now the next time that you roll over to the right, pause here. Resting knee on top of knee, palm on top of palm. Now lifting your head, sliding your bottom arm underneath to prop your head up, acting as a pillow, and then reaching for your blanket, placing that in between your knees, any height, whatever your hips are asking for, whatever feels the most comfortable. And pausing here for a moment, feeling whatever was stirred up that we rhythmically were starting to even out by going between the left and the right, whatever energy that stirred, allowing that energy now to settle. And your bottom arm can be straight, it can be bent, honestly, just whatever feels best for your head. And as you take a deep breath in, when you feel your lungs expand, again exhale, breathing out into these points of support. The ground beneath you, the props that surround you, the gravity that allows you to be drawn even deeper down. And the power of your choice to be here to engage. And leading with your left elbow, snake your left arm over your hip, and then bring the back of your left hand down your lower back. It may stay on your lower back, it may drift down towards the floor. Roll the left shoulder open, and then feel gravity slowly begin to peel the center of your chest. A little bit more open from the chest over the shoulders down towards your left fingertips. So again, this is another opportunity where we're just letting gravity find its way through us. As you breathe in, feel the shoulders slowly roll back. As you breathe out, any vestiges of tension or gripping, just let that be swept away as best you can. If it needs to linger, that's fine. Let it have its say, and then let it move on. If it keeps coming back, just keep inviting it back in, and then show it the back door. Now very slowly, again still working with gravity, we're going to take the energy, moving from our chest, moving over our left shoulders, Start to roll in that direction. So you want to flatten your hand down against the ground. And as if you were melting, begin to roll onto your back. And you can pause here. You can take this twist if you like. You can just rest here. If you'd like to keep working on your shoulder opening, your chest opening, you'll bring your knees up towards the ceiling. And then bring your back to rest down against your left arm. Now, if you're here and this feels too intense, you have the option to reduce this pressing, this opening of your arm, and just bring your elbow out to the side, however far you need. If your knees are up, just make sure your feet are about hip width distance. If you're still resting in that twist, just continue to let your left shoulder reach down towards the ground. So again, the power of choice here being your biggest point of support, your most powerful point of support. Knowing that at any time you are in control, you get to choose what to listen to. You have the power to give your body what it needs, to choose to give your body what it needs. And let the belly be soft, connecting deeply with your respiratory diaphragm. Whatever you find in these moments of stillness, a new thought, an old thought, just let it march on through, have it stay, and then let it walk out the back door. Enjoy your resting in your twist. Very slowly bring your knees up to the ceiling. And then we'll all slide our arms out from behind our backs, bringing both arms into goalposts. So elbows bent right around the same plane as your shoulders, resting the backs of your hands against the ground, as if you had warm river stones in your palms. And feeling your chest open, lengthening all the way down through the tailbone. The chin gently moves in towards the throat to lengthen the neck so the entire spine is long and supported against the ground beneath you. And stay where you are. We're going to switch sides here. And now slowly looking over towards your left, bring your knees either up in the air or keep them along the ground. And then roll over onto your left side. When your bottom arm act as a pillow, you can keep your arm lengthened, you can keep it bent, whatever works best for your head, for your neck, for your arm. Reposition the blanket, make sure that there are no lumps, nothing that's distracting. Again, find the shape that works best for your hips and taking a deep breath in, feeling the body expand. As you exhale, feel that energy moving down. The energy of allowing yourself to be supported. There's a certain amount of vulnerability that comes with letting yourself receive. And when there's vulnerability, there are usually little pings of ego coming through that try to be a gatekeeper. That'll come in like tension in your jaw, tension in your face. That'll come up like tension in your thoughts. Like that recurring little nagging thought about what you have to do after this or tomorrow. But again, just let it in. Don't resist it. Let it come through. Let it have it say. Acknowledge it, witness it, and then let it pass. Keep breathing out down into the support beneath you, the support of gravity, support of your choices. And slowly leading with your right elbow. Again, snaking the right arm over your ribcage. Bring the back of your right hand onto your lower back. Roll the right shoulder open. And then feel your hand melting down towards the floor. It doesn't have to reach there. If it doesn't reach, that's fine. Just think of this as a direction, not a destination. And the center point of the chest as you open, rolling the energy over your right shoulder, down your right arm, through your right hand, and pulling into your fingertips. Very slowly, you to press your right hand down against the floor, feeling your right shoulder melting in the direction of your right elbow. Slowly unfurl the torso to rest down against the ground. So to even this out, whatever you chose on the opposite side is what you'll choose here. So if you chose to stay in this twist, this is where you'll remain. If you chose to open your chest, we'll lift our knees very slowly, rolling over onto our right arm. And again, playing with this angle of the elbow as needed, reducing if it's too intense. Listen to what your body's telling you. Your body is a messenger. Everything that you could possibly need. Allowing your breath to be the road that you travel on. Allowing your body to be the planet on which you have this earthly experience. You're still down in your twist. Very slowly bring your knees back up to the ceiling. And gently move your right arm out from underneath. Bringing your arms into goalposts. The elbows the same plane as your shoulders. Chin moves down towards the throat. Feel the sensation, this imagined conjuring of warm river stones in your palms, gently pressing the back of your hands down against the floor. Start to bring your knees in towards your chest, taking your blanket with you. And then we'll take that blanket and we'll open it up. If you want some distance in your blanket, because where this is going is back over your legs, and then pressing the soles of your feet right in the center of this blanket. Open your feet so they're about hip width distance. And then holding on to the sides of your blanket to press your heels up towards the ceiling. So taking a very light inversion. You'll feel your feet slide together, and hopefully there's a little bit of blanket in between your heels. If not, open your feet a little wider, and then bring your feet together. Then check in with your grip on the side of this blanket. Do you need to be holding in this vice-like supervillain grip, or can you just let your hands release a little bit? Again, tension sneaks in very, very tricky spaces. It's important to be vigilant. Notice where you're leaking energy, all the different ways that that manifests. Gently drawing your chin down in towards your throat if you feel any tension starting to creep into your shoulders or the back of your neck. And very slowly melting your knees down towards your chest, keeping your feet and your legs wrapped. Lower your legs down. Your second blanket now can come in handy. You'd like to place that underneath your head to support your head and neck. Check in with your shoulder blades. Make sure that they are pressing down, not bunched up. And conjuring this feeling of warm, sun-baked river stones in the palms of your hands. If it's uncomfortable to keep your legs straight here, you can bring your knees back towards the ceiling. So just tenting your knees, resting them against each other. Again, listen in what's your body asking for. Come to our final resting pose as a space of integration. This acknowledgement that any choice that we make is a directive towards ourselves, towards our lives. And the more choices we make, the more agency we have in our direct experience, the closer our lives will look to how we want them to be, how we want them to feel. So in this instance, I wish for you to choose rest, to choose the vulnerability of support. And returning to that center space. Feel your breath inflate your chest and your heart center. Really exhale, pressing the energy down through the back of the heart, back of your lungs. Into the mercy of the ground, the support system to receive you. I invite you to stay here as long as you like. Take you straight into your slumber.